Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
In last week's Torah portion, we started the counting of the three sons of Levi. Kahas was in last week's Torah portion, and Gershon and Merari are in this week's Torah portion. Why is Kahas in last week's Torah portion, and the other two sons of Levi are in this week's Torah portion? Why not put the counting of all three sons in the same parsha? Remember once hearing a story about a bus driver in a yeshiva in Brooklyn who he started as a young bus driver, and then he got older and he became a senior citizen. He came into the principal's office one day and he said, I can't take it anymore. It's a hard job. I got to get up early, pick up all the kids. And the kids are wild and rambunctious, and my nerves are a little older. They're a little shot, The kids get on my nerves. I think it's time to, here's the keys to the bus, I'm retiring. He was a very good bus driver. He always greeted the kids with a big smile, very warm, very friendly. The principal wanted to convince him to stay as a bus driver. So the principal said to him, you have a very important job. So what do you mean? I'm just a bus driver. You can find another bus driver. He says, no. Your job is the most important job in the whole school. It's the most important job. He says, when you're driving a bus, it's not a bus you're driving. You're driving a mobile Aron Kodesh, a mobile ark. Because every kid that gets on the bus is coming to learn Torah. So every child is like a Sefer Torah. And every time you open the bus, you pull the handle to open the bus doors to let a kid on the bus, you should realize it's like the opening of the ark, the honor of opening the ark. And the bus driver heard this. He said, well, in that case, I don't want to give up such a big honor every day to open the ark, every day to let the kids come onto the mobile Aron Kodesh to go learn Torah, little Sefer Torahs. So, what is the difference between the members of Kahat and Gershon and Merari? Kahat were the sons of Levi who had the special role of carrying the ark in the desert. The other tribes carried the planks and the curtains. What was the major difference? The other tribes put the items they carried onto wagons, and the wagons and the oxen pulled the wagons and transported through the desert. But the ark with the tablets in it that we got at Mount Sinai weren't placed into a wagon. But it says on their shoulders, they carried it through the desert. As a show of honor, they carried the ark and the tablets on their shoulders. But the rabbis tell us something fascinating. They say, don't think it was the Levites of the tribe of Kahat that carried the ark. It was actually the ark that was carrying them.
Amen.
What does that mean? When you carry a baby, a mother carries a baby. The mother doesn't feel, it's so heavy. I have to carry this baby. The mother feels like she's being carried by the baby. There are certain things you carry in life that are so joyous that you feel uplifted through carrying it, that it gives you a sprint in your walk because you feel you're carrying something that doesn't weigh you down but lifts you up. And that's the powerful message the rabbis are saying. What has Rabbi Gabriel Sanders, the Shavuos, he shared with us a beautiful line. The Jews have walked through the ages with the sages in the pages. What is the idea? The idea is that how do we survive? And not just survive, but thrive for 3,331 years. And there's one answer. We carried the Torah with us wherever we went. Wherever we were in exile, they asked for one. We always carried the Torah. And when you carry the Torah, it's not a burden that weighs you down. It's a joy that lifts you up. And therefore the rabbis say it wasn't the Levites of Kahat that carried the Torah. It was the Torah that actually uplifted them and carried them. And that's why this week's parsha says, now count the members of Gershon, they too, gam heim. Why? Because once you have the Torah in your midst, and the Torah is lifting you up, now you can lift up and carry, Nasso, raise up all the other members of the tribes of Israel. Because the Torah gives us the power to raise up others. And that's the truth. Torah lifts us up and gives us the ability to lift up others. And that's why the rabbis and the sages throughout the generations lifted up the nation of Israel because they were uplifted by the Torah, so they had the power to lift up the rest of the Jewish people through that. And I'll just share with you a story that there was the vision of Serabian in Israel. Was once visited by a young man who had recently lost his wife to a terrible illness. And the man told the rabbi that he's marrying off his daughter next week. He came for a blessing. The vision of Serabian gave him a blessing. It was the first marriage he was going to make without his wife. And the Rebbe tells him, after the wedding, I want you to come see me. So he thought maybe the next day. He said, like, you mean the next day? He said, no, after the wedding. From the wedding hall, come see me. I want to talk to you. He said, but it's going to be 1, 2 a.m. in the morning. He said, don't worry, I'll be waiting for you. The Rebbe said he should come. He came. So after the wedding, from the wedding hall, 1:30 a.m., he went to the Rebbe's house. Sure enough, the Rebbe was up waiting for him. Comes into the Rebbe. The Rebbe says to him, so how was the wedding? He said, oh, it was beautiful. How did your daughter, the bride, look? Oh, she was gorgeous, radiant, beautiful to see her in a gown. How was the food at the wedding? It was good. Was it served on time? Yeah. Was it hot? Yeah. How were the guests? Did everyone seem to have a good time? How was the music? How was the flowers? On and on for an hour, asking about every detail about the wedding. He wished him a good night. He went home. The Rebbe's Gabbai said, Rebbe, may I ask, why did you stay up till 2 o'clock to ask him about the flowers and the hall? And the Rebbe said, what does a husband and a wife do when they come home after the wedding of their child? They stay up talking. And what do they talk about? How was it on the men's side? How was it on the women's side? How was the music? How was the catering? Did people enjoy the food? Did people seem to be dancing? He said he's going to come home to an empty apartment with no one to talk to about his daughter's wedding. So I said, come to my house, I want to talk to you. And I spoke to him about the things his wife would have asked him about how the wedding went and discussed with him those same things. That's the sensitivity and the power of the Torah. When a person studies Torah and they permeate the Torah, they're on a higher spiritual plane, and it raises them up to see things on a higher level, and that enables them to raise up others.